Everybody gets one chance to do something great. Most people never take the chance, either because they're too scared or they don't recognize it when it spits on their shoes. This is your big chance. You shouldn't let it go by.
You're either going to spend your life watching other people do the things you want to do, and then you're going to end up on your deathbed and go, wow, I really blew it. I didn't push myself through all of those fears and those excuses when I could have. I really regret how I spent the time that I had. So you're either going to spend your life watching other people do the things that you want to do and then spend a lot of time making up excuses. Well, they're this or they're that. And it may be true, but you got to, at some point, wake up and realize you got what you got. You got the cards that have been dealt to you are the ones that you have to play. And so you can waste your life and your time bitching about where you're at and being jealous of your friends, which I did for decades, or you will get to a point where you are so sick of yourself and you're sick of being miserable that you actually do something, because the cost of staying where you are is so much more painful than moving toward the thing you've been avoiding.
If your life was a movie and people were watching up to this point, what would the audience be screaming at the screen, telling you to do with your life? What would they be just, it's fucking obvious. Leave the job. Leave the, you need to get, like, it's your brother. It's the, the fucking killer's hiding in the cupboard, whatever it might be. What would the audience watching the movie of your life be screaming at the screen, telling you to do? And I think it's a very orthogonal way to look at, I already know the answer of what I should be doing. I'm just scared of making the commitment and having the conversation.
Now, I have come to the crossroads in my life. I always knew what the right path was. Without exception, I knew, but I never took it. You know why? It was too damn hard.
The way that fear shows up in most people's lives is in the form of anxiety, where it's no longer fear of a specific thing, it's just fear of the world. Mm-hmm. So that original fear that's meant to result in a cry for help now becomes chronic anxiety. So fear not dealt with gets ingrained as anxiety. Mm-hmm. It's no longer about anything specific. It's just being in the world is a source of fear, which it shouldn't be.
What should result in a cry for help externally becomes a perpetual cry internally.
That's exactly it.
Without a feeling of being able to help yourself.
Exactly.
You know, if you sit quietly for a moment and just observe what's happening inside your head, you'll notice something rather extraordinary. There's this constant chatter going on, an endless stream of commentary, of narration, of conversation with yourself about yourself. It never stops. Even right now, as you're listening to me, there's probably another voice in your head commenting on what I'm saying, agreeing or disagreeing, planning what to think next, wondering if you've understood correctly, perhaps even talking about the fact that it's talking. This internal dialogue is so constant, so pervasive, that most people don't even notice it anymore. It's like the hum of a refrigerator that you only hear when someone points it out. But once you do notice it, once you become aware of this endless internal conversation, a very natural question arises. Why won't it stop? Why does the mind insist on this constant talking to itself? And more importantly, who is talking to whom? If it's your mind talking to itself, then who is the talker and who is the listener? Are there two of you in there? And if there are two, which one is the real you? The one doing the talking or the one listening to the talking? Let me tell you, this is not a trivial question. This is perhaps one of the most important questions you can ask about the nature of your own consciousness. Because this internal dialogue, this constant mental chatter, is at the root of almost all human suffering. It's the mechanism by which we create anxiety, worry, regret, and most of our psychological pain. And yet we're so identified with it that we think it's who we are. Let's start by examining what this internal voice is actually doing. If you pay close attention, you'll notice that it's doing several things. First, it's narrating. It's telling you the story of what's happening. I'm sitting here listening to this. I wonder what he'll say next. This is interesting. I'm not sure I agree with that. It's like a sports commentator giving you a play-by-play of your own life, except that you're living the life and providing the commentary simultaneously. Second, it's evaluating. It's constantly judging everything that happens as good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, desirable or undesirable. I like this, I don't like that. This is going well, this is going poorly, I should have done that differently, I hope this continues, I hope that doesn't happen again. On and on. An endless stream of evaluation and judgment. Third, it's planning and rehearsing. It's constantly projecting into the future, imagining scenarios, preparing speeches you'll never give, having arguments with people who aren't there, worrying about things that might happen, fantasizing about things you hope will happen. I'll tell them this. If they say that, I'll respond with this.
People need a purpose in life. You need a purpose neurochemically, because without a purpose, you don't feel any positive motivation or any positive emotion. Like, our positive emotion is linked to our pursuit of valuable goals. That's how our brains are set up.
If you can invest a little time in your life in asking yourself the important question, who do I want to be in my life? How do I want to live my life? What do I want in my life? And instead of turning on your cell phone, getting distracted, discipline yourself to take an hour to answer those questions. Write it down, review it, change it, get very clear on it, and spend a certain amount of time nurturing whatever that dream is. Think of the people in your life that you admire and start behaving differently. Start making different choices. Think about the choices that they may make and how you may want to make those choices. You could either wait for the crisis, the trauma, the diagnosis to change. You know, when you're at your lowest level, you can learn and change in a state of pain and suffering, or you can learn and change in a state of joy and inspiration. Either way, the model is that when you change, your life changes.
Act like the person you want to become. That's not fake it till you make it, by the way. This is intentional. Intentionally act like the person you want to become. Because when you intentionally act like the person you want to become, your brain sees you taking those actions, so your brain starts to change the way it relates to you. The reason why it feels normal to doubt yourself and to have low self-worth is because you've thought this so long. It's become a pattern, just like chewing your nails becomes a pattern of behavior that you don't think about. Well, the cool thing is that based on science, you can actually change any pattern, even a thinking one, and force yourself to think something positive.
I like to think of the subconscious mind down here. This is your subconscious mind. This is where everything goes. And ever since you've been a little child, every message that you've had, everything you've done, all the experiences that you've had, everything you've said has gone into these filing cabinets down here. And I like to think of lots of little messengers down there. And when you think a thought or you have an experience, the message goes down, they grab the message, they look at it, and they put it in the appropriate file. And for a long time, you have perhaps been building up files that say, I'm not good enough, I'll never make it, you know, I don't do it right. I mean, you're getting absolutely buried under these files. And then all of a sudden, you do an affirmation that says, I'm wonderful and I love myself. And it goes down and they pick up this thing and they say, what is this? Where does it go? We've never seen this before. So what they do is they call doubt. Doubt, come over here and go up and see what's going on. So doubt picks up the message and comes up to you and says, hey, look at this. You know, you've always been saying this, and here it is. And you can react one of two ways. You can go, oh, you're right, I'm terrible, I'm no good, I'm sorry, that's not the right message, and go back to your own old things. Or you can say to doubt, thank you for sharing. And this is see, don't treat doubt as an enemy. Treat doubt as a messenger that's a friend. And thank doubt for coming up and looking at you and saying, now that was the old message, but this is the new message. Now go down and start a new file, and there's going to be lots of these coming through. And if you look at doubt that way and begin to treat doubt that way, then doubt becomes your friend. You see, we need to change our thinking, because changing our thinking changes our reality. So if we can change what we think, we're going to change our experiences.
The brain does not know the difference between the real life experience and what you're imagining. So the brain begins to fire and wire new circuits to look like you already did the act, right? Keep doing it and it becomes a software program, and it's more easy for you to behave that way because you've primed the brain. If you don't prime the brain and you're struggling, you have no circuitry to use. You have to say, okay, let me practice feeling a different emotion. Instead of fear, let me practice feeling gratitude. Let me see how many times I could bring up the feeling of gratitude. And if you, in your meditation, could bring it up over and over again, remember to feel this way. You keep doing it over and over again, you're making chemicals, right? And if you keep doing it, you can condition your body to feel that feeling more automatically. And you can begin to become familiar with a new way of thinking. You can become familiar with a new way of acting. And you become familiar with a new way of feeling.
You can either live a hard life by design or a hard life by default. If you want to pick the hard life by default, like most people do, what does that consist of? Stay in your comfort zone, choose pleasure over purpose, don't do painful, uncomfortable things, don't take risks if you don't feel like it. So what's that default pain? The default pain of being a comfortable little fuck who's riddled with insecurity, lacks confidence, has all these mental health issues, they're super depressed and anxious because they're the consequences of comforts. Pretty painful, don't you think? To feel like shit about yourself, walking around feeling like a shell of yourself, knowing that you're not living up to your greatest potential? Or you can choose the pain of putting in the work, getting in amazing shape, taking risks, investing in your skills, investing in yourself, but then getting better results. So you can transcend that default pain of being a comfortable, average little fuck. It's up to you though, because at the end of the day, discomfort will be experienced. You can choose which form you experience, the pain of discipline or the pain of knowing you're being less.
You have to lose your fear of failure. Failure is part of the process. People who never fail, never try. You have to fail. You got to get it wrong to get it right. You learn nothing from winning. You only learn from your failures.
I want you to fail, and I want you to get up and do it again. The same thing in life is the same thing here. If you can do this, you can do anything. Right now, you're 5% away from being the champion.
Quitting is a habit. If you quit the first time you run into difficulties, you'll always quit when the going gets rough. You will, in effect, establish a pattern for failure rather than a pattern for success.
Now, the only place to go from failure is to win. You have to achieve failure. You have to take it that far. Nobody wants to go that far. It's too scary. But you know something? I got news for you. That's where winning is. It always has been.
Fuck your tired body. Fuck that unmotivated mind. And get out there and do it anyway. You know, you better fight yourself, because you're not only winning when things are going your way. You got to figure out how to win when things aren't going your way. You got to figure out when your body's fighting you, when your mind's fighting you. How do you still, just say, fuck it, I'm gonna beat my mind today.
What is the first rule of any game, Mr. Green?
The only way to get smarter is by playing a smarter opponent.
What's rule 2 of any game?
The more sophisticated the game, the more sophisticated the opponent.
Where does it stop, Mr. Green? Where does this game stop?
Don't let them play head games with you, Jake.
Is it me that's playing head games with you, Mr. Green? You've heard that voice for so long, you believe it to be you. You believe it to be your best friend. Where's the best place an opponent should hide?
The very last place you would ever look.
He's hiding behind your pain, Jake. You're protecting him with your pain. Embrace the pain, and you will win this game.
If you change the rules on what controls you,
you will change the rules on what you can control.
Never waste your suffering. I ask my students in my happiness class to keep a failure and disappointment list. Each time something bad happens that feels like a loss or feels like a disappointment or feels like a failure, which is a lot. I mean, this happens to us pretty frequently. You write it down and leave 2 lines blank. And on the first line, you write down, it's like, that thing really bothered me. It really bothered me. And then a month later, you come back to the first line that you left blank under it and write down, what did you learn? And what did you learn about that? What did you learn from that experience? And then 3 months later, you come back to the second line and write down a good thing that happened because of that loss. And you're filling in the notebook. And by the time you're going to a new thing that's really bugging you, really bothering you, you start to look forward to it because you're going to be looking back at the knowledge and growth from past negative experiences and the benefit that actually has come from those negative experiences. Never, never, never waste sacrifice.
If you let people's perception of you dictate your behavior, you will never grow as a person. But if you leave yourself open to experience, despite what others think, then you will learn and grow.
You know, we gotta show people we're not what they think we are.
Yeah.
One of your quotes is, when you're winning, you're not as good as you think you are. When you're losing, you're not as bad as you think you are. What's that mean to you?
Both of them lie. You know, both of them is exaggerated. You know, both of them are, when you're winning, everybody's telling you how amazing you are. Oh my God, let me tell you, dude, you know what? You're the best. You're amazing. You know, you're just better than that guy, and you're better than this guy. And it always takes me back to that quote of Marcus Aurelius, who had a slave that would sit behind him and always whisper to him, hey,
you're just a man.
You're just a man.
You're just a man.
You have nothing in this world to conquer or to challenge or to transcend apart from your mind. All your neighbors live here. Your enemies and friends live here. Your gods and demons live here. And yourself, imagined, lives here. Just become more and more aware that your watching place is not the thing you're watching. Just remain detached, like you're witnessing. Sometimes it will feel like some reflex uncontrollably, and you're in form again, dancing with the mind, struggling, and then as soon as you see this, don't go, oh no, just click back. And at some point, you'll feel that the claustrophobia of all this worldly, internal and external noise will start to sort of drift away.
Don't do something you don't want to do. Why are you wasting your time? There's so little time on this earth. Life goes fast. What is it, 4,000 weeks? That's your lifespan. And yes, we hear that, but we don't remember it. But I guess I'm keenly aware of how little time I have, so I'm just not going to waste it.
That's your moment. That's your moment. It's not that all is lost. When you're feeling the most trapped and down and nothing can go right, I feel like those are the moments that define you. Yeah. Those are those character canon moments that are like, what am I going to do now? Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. How do you respond to that? And thinking your way, feeling your way, working your way through those things on the other side, it's like, you know, I don't know who said the saying, but like usually, you know, you're the closest to getting what you want is always the hardest. It's always the feeling when you're getting ready to, you know, people give up right before they get what they've always wanted to get. People quit.
When you began your journey, you were determined. Nothing could stop you. And now that you are so close, are you willing to give up so easily? It was easier at the beginning. Beginnings are often easier. What's the point of fighting my way up the mountain when someone else is just going to come up the easy way? There is always going to be someone who does things the easy way. But that should not stop you from doing things the right way. It is your journey, young warrior. Only you decide when it ends.
Always remember, in your weakest moments, the strongest version of you is waiting to be born. You have to just allow it. And sometimes it takes breaking over and over and over again until you really realize being broken all those times, you're not really broken. If you're not broken, you're unbreakable.
The fact that you made it today is worthy of being proud of. Proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you for making it to this point. And it's okay to say that. Look in the mirror and say, I'm proud of myself. What did you achieve today? I achieved another day. I didn't give up.